Hey Dan, you feel great today?
Hey buddy, how's it going? Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I hope you have a great day and also great moments. So, maybe we will. Are you ready for the AMA today, sir?
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'll answer as many questions as I can, and yeah, hopefully we can have some fun.
All right. So, hello everyone. Hello Polkadot community. So maybe I will start our AMA today, and I hope you have a great night, great evening, great morning, wherever you come from. And today I'm very glad and also very green to join the AMA sections with one of the core team members from Phala Network, which is Dan Quirk. So Dan, can you say hi to our community, please?
Sure. Hey guys, nice to see everyone here today. Looking forward to chatting about Phala Network, and hopefully answering some good questions.
Okay, great. So before we jump into the main section today, I would like to have some update about the informations about our AMA today. Phala Network, as you know, Phala Network revolutionized the Web3 development by empowering dApp builders with decentralized options compute infrastructures. So this enables seamless cross-chain integrations, internet connectivities, and also the heavy computations for the enhanced dApp. And this allows the developers, which is the coder, to build the dApps that prioritize their user privacies while ensuring high performance and also the scalability. And I think everyone has known that Phala Network has announced the Phat Contract with a lot of improvement. And today we feel very excited, very humble to know more about this exciting information. So in case you didn't know who we are, so we are Polkadot Insider. We are media side channels to update news, data analytics, real-time data, and also project research to support the retail investor to help them navigate the investing for the Polkadot ecosystem. So join with me today is Mr. Dan Quill from Phala Network, and I won't waste your time anymore. We will jump into our first questions of today. Firstly, Dan, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners to the space today, and also what is your background and unofficially instructions for Phala Network and how your project become involved in Polkadot, please.
Sure. Thanks for the introduction. So, great to see everyone here. My name's Dan Quirk. I'm the Chief Product Officer of Phala Network. What's my background? I've been involved in sort of Web3 and blockchain for probably about 12 years now. I've always had a strong interest in Web3. It's not always been called Web3 until Gavin wrote that article in sort of 2015 time, but certainly blockchain as long as it's been around. Remember buying XRP in 2011, 2012. So yeah, I've had a very long-standing interest in it. How did I end up here today talking with you guys? Became very interested in Substrate around 2019, 2020. Think that what Gavin Wood is doing and the team at Parity is very exciting. I've spent a lot of time as an engineer throughout my life, and what Substrate is, abstracting out that blockchain building toolkit and allowing the teams and developers to focus on the application logic, if you like, I think is exceptionally powerful, lowering the barrier to entry, and then obviously the forkless upgrades and on-chain governance was an immediate sell for me. So yeah, that's my background, or a brief intro on my background. For Phala Network, for those who maybe aren't familiar and haven't heard of Phala Network before, it's decentralized off-chain compute infrastructure. So we're here to revolutionize that part of the stack. We're an infrastructure provider, and Phala Network allows anyone to trustlessly and permissionlessly provide hardware to the network, and then developers to consume it on the other side. What I'm sure we'll talk more about that as the AMA progresses. And why am I here today? As was mentioned at the start, we released Phat Contract, which is our flagship product, on mainnet on the 5th of June. So it's the culmination of 3 years of work at this point. And it's a huge moment for the team, and hopefully we believe eventually a huge moment for everyone in the ecosystem. So yeah, we're very excited to tell everyone about Phat Contract, and that's why I'm here today.
Okay, what a great introductions from Dan. I know Phala Network is also a very great project and also a potential project in the Polkadot ecosystem. And myself also is quite exciting, very interesting in Phala Network, and also the technologies you guys have built in. To be honest, I'm very impressed with your work. All right, so maybe I will jump into the next questions. So, what are the distinctive attributes and the unique features, sets Phala apart from all the blockchain platforms? And do you have any? What is your most proud of your project of Phala Network?
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's a great question. As I mentioned in the intro, Phala Network is about decentralized compute infrastructure. We want to take our slogan is literally computation as it's meant to be. So we think all computation should be trustless, should be permissionless, and there are a lot of challenges or limitations maybe to on-chain compute. And so our goal is to provide on-chain verification and off-chain capability. So as I mentioned at the start, anyone can trustlessly and permissionlessly provide hardware to the network, and then on the other side, developers can use that compute. And the way that you make use of that compute is Phat Contract. So Phat Contract, as opposed to a thin contract, it has a huge amount of functionality, and it's how you consume that compute. And you are literally running a smart contract off-chain. So Parachains smart contract library Inc. You are literally running Inc. contracts off-chain. Obviously, smart contracts are very important to any blockchain ecosystem, very important to Polkadot, and so we're driving innovation in that space. Once you take the smart contract off-chain, you remove a huge amount of the limitations. And in terms of being proud, I'd say the team is very proud of every aspect of the stack. We have guarantees at every layer of the stack to ensure that incentives are in the right place. Phala Network is designed with multiple layers of security to provide fully verifiable computation. There are no compromises here. So yeah, we're very excited to see what the community and developers out there can do with Phat Contract, and this is just the beginning for us.
Okay, what a huge information that you guys need to listen carefully and also digest it. So this is a small curious for myself. So do the Phat Contract is different from the smart contract, right?
Yeah, so obviously a smart contract is running on-chain and a Phat Contract is running off-chain. So when you come along and you develop Phat Contract and you write a Phat Contract, it gets uploaded onto Phala Network, onto the Parachain, and you pay a very small transaction fee. Obviously, this is Polkadot, it's very, very cheap. And then the blockchain instantiates that Phat Contract in a cluster, a compute cluster somewhere in the world. So yes, absolutely. Smart contracts run on-chain, Phat Contracts run off-chain, and by running them off-chain, we open up a whole new world of possibilities.
Wow, very useful information, guys. I hope you have tried out carefully, and if you not, we will have a small recap at the end of our AMA today. So about the Phat Contract, also very exciting about that technology, and it has been launched in June. So can you please list down some of the impact of that contract on the Phala Network at present and also in the near futures? What is the impact that can go with also in the Polkadot ecosystem? And how can you measure that?
Sure thing. I think the most important thing to do is to give you a rundown of what Phat Contract can do, and that really will give you a sense of its impact and where it can go. So there are essentially 4 key benefits to Phat Contract. What we're really doing is making smart contracts smarter. Phat Contract allows you to connect your smart contract anywhere because it makes it possible to extend the capabilities of your smart contract without the need for a bridge or an extra layer. So that's absolutely huge. That's key benefit number 1. Key benefit number 2 is internet connectivity. Phala and Phat Contract doesn't just offer unparalleled on-chain connectivity, it allows you to bridge the gap between the on-chain world and the off-chain world. So something that you just couldn't do with a smart contract, you can open a HTTP request anywhere. You have that because you're off-chain, you can now do that. And you can just take your dApp to the next level. You can integrate any kind of cutting-edge Web3 protocol you want and any Web2 API. So you can fuse the old, the new, on-chain, off-chain. That's the absolute. There's one thing you take away from today's AMA. That's the key thing to take away, the connectivity that Phat Contract brings. Key benefit number 3, you can run arbitrary complex logic now. Obviously, running on-chain compute, you're limited by the chain. There's a natural conflict of interest there. We want to get to the next block, you know, in Polkadot's case, every 6 or 12 seconds, but maybe you have some long running tasks, maybe you have some heavy computation. So you can do some really intense things because we're now off chain. And then finally, key benefit number 4, as I mentioned before, verifiable computation. We give you an execution promise that something is going to have. It's trustless, it's permissionless. So they're the key benefits of Phat Contract. And then the other thing that I really do need to mention to everyone here today is we haven't just built this incredible off-chain compute infrastructure. We've also built experiences for every developer. So we want there to be low-code and no-code experiences as well. And we've introduced something called blueprints and bricks. And fundamentally, a brick is just a Phat Contract that's wrapped up that other people can reuse. And a blueprint is a collection of bricks that solves a specific problem. So I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but we want to make the power of Phat Contract as accessible as possible. You don't necessarily need to learn Rust or Ink. We're giving you pre-built solutions to common problems so that you can come along and one-click deploy them. So we've got something for everyone. And the impact of Phat Contract is certainly the power of its features.
So very great, right, guys? So did you mention that it's also used for the non-technology people? So maybe I should try it out someday.
Absolutely. That's a key thing for us. We didn't want to go live on mainnet until we offered a low-code or no-code experience. So you can come along and you can use, as I mentioned, a blueprint. And our first blueprint is for Lens. It's for the Lens ecosystem, the SocialFi offering, and you can create an oracle for the Lens API in 5 minutes. And you don't need to know Rust or Ink or anything. You just configure the oracle. So it's not just about maybe non-technical folks. It's about developers who maybe specialize in JavaScript or maybe specialize in Solidity. There's a huge amount of talented engineers out there, and they maybe just don't have the domain knowledge in smart contracts, or they don't have time to learn that, but they do want the tooling and the power that we can offer. So yeah, we're looking to offer a developer experience for everyone for sure.
Great, very great. So I will try to use this like after the AMA right now. Very exciting right now. So maybe we'll jump into another questions from the AMA sections. So how does Phala Network perceive the role of Polkadot's parachains in enhancing the interoperabilities and scalabilities in the blockchain ecosystem?
Sure. Well, yeah, as I mentioned up front, we deeply believe in Polkadot. We think a lot of the technical choices that have been made are very, very interesting and very, very valuable. In terms of how do we perceive the parachains, they're application chains. That's how we see them. Each chain has the chance to build custom, unique logic in isolation, and then we can connect together at the boundaries. It's that classic kind of abstraction encapsulation. So we can encapsulate the complexity of off-chain compute, and then we can provide that to another chain. So we think it's a very elegant design. We're in Polkadot to stay, and we see our long-term future here. So yeah, we see it as a stability thing, as a long-term investment, and we see remarkable opportunity for both encapsulating complexity in specific change and then connecting together at the boundaries.
Okay. Also, more information right now, you guys. I really addicting to this IMA today, and I hope you guys feel also the same with me. So, how about your target users, your Phala target users? Is that not only the normal developer, or just also the normal users? Can you list down for me, and can you describe about it more, please?
Sure, of course. I mean, the target of Phat Contract is definitely developers, but we recognize there are a lot of very different developers. So we like to think about this in one of sort of three ways. With the launch of Phat Contract, I must add that the team worked exceptionally hard on a new website, on new docs. We have this brand new application experience. So if anyone hasn't checked it out, I really would go to Phala Network, maybe while you're listening to this AMA, and you'll see all our new branding and all our new information. And you'll see there that we think about this in three ways. So we have developers who maybe just want to accelerate their dApp. They want to accelerate their process, and they're probably going to make use of the blueprint that I mentioned. So something that is one-click deploy to a well-defined problem. As I mentioned, our first blueprint is the Lens API Oracle. So if you've got some kind of Lens ecosystem app developer who wants to accelerate his development and not hand roll an Oracle, then he or she is the perfect target for that. So yeah, it's someone who wants to accelerate and maybe not understand Rust or deep dive into native Phat Contract, and we're really, really interested in those developers. The second kind of developer we see is someone who wants to innovate, someone who wants to learn native Phat Contract, wants to learn Rust, wants to learn Ink, and dive into the Polkadot ecosystem. So we're definitely communicating and talking with all those people as well. They're a key part of our ecosystem. And then finally, we have those developers who are pioneering developers. They don't just want to learn native Phat Contract. They want to push the boundaries of our entire ecosystem, of everything that Phat Contract can do, and research some really interesting use cases alongside us. So, as I say, if you go to Phala.network, you can see on our new homepage, you can see all of the tracks, all of the ways that we're supporting these different kinds of developers. So we've got something for everyone, and we want to make Phat Contract as accessible as possible. That's our key aim.
Okay, so I did spend some time to read about the docs, read about the documents in your website, and I'm curious that if sometimes I feel not really understand deeply about the contract and understand deeply about your knowledge and also informations in the doc, and I want to keep learning about it. Can I communicate with you guys? Can I contact with you guys on Discord or whatever I can to ask about it?
Yes, of course. We have a really active and vibrant community. We deliberately spend a lot of our day, the entire core team spend a lot of their day inside Discord. We communicate internally with Discord because we want to be as close to our users as possible. That's to our community. I mean, we are just part of the community. That's how we see it. So if you jump into Discord, if you're not in the Phala Discord yet, do come over and say hello. There's a section for developers there, and we have specific channels. We have a channel for blueprints and bricks. So if you're just looking to accelerate your dApp development and use one of our blueprints, then you can have a conversation in there. And we have multiple core engineers chatting away in there all the time. And then secondly, we have a Phat Contract channel. So if you're writing Rust, you're writing Ink, our own core developers are writing Phat Contracts. We're constantly dog fooding it ourselves. You'll see some really interesting conversations in there. And then finally, if you want to suggest where we should go with the platform, if you want to do something, if you want to pioneer something, you can have a conversation in the research channel. We have a forum there. So we're always looking to engage with the community, and you'll see our CTO, Hank, you'll see our lead researcher, Shelvin, the people who've spent the last 3 years building this product, who know it better than anyone in the world. They will engage with you. And if you want to, we also have a builders program where we hand out to suitable projects, ambitious, exciting projects. Money is handed out from the treasury to encourage people to develop on Phat Contract, and we engage very deeply with that as well. So Marvin, our CEO, is always very keen to tell us that the community is the most important thing. So yeah, we deeply believe in engagement, and if you're struggling with something, everyone starts somewhere. Come over to Discord, ask us a question, and we'll help you out.
Okay, everyone, if you got stuck with some code, if you got stuck with something about the technologies with your knowledge, you know where to find the answers on Phala Network. All right. So maybe we will talk about a little bit about this business. So we all know that Phala Network can not only support the substrate chains like Akala, Moonbeam, Esther, but also the EVM chains like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. So do you have any purpose to the next step of your plans of Phala Network?
Yeah, I mean, what you're mentioning there is the core power and core appeal of Phat Contract, and it takes me back to the key benefit that I mentioned in terms of the 4 key benefits of Phat Contract. Phat Contract makes it possible to extend your smart contract anywhere, right, without the need for a bridge or an extra layer. So we truly are omni-chain, cross-chain, multi-chain, whatever the hype word is that you want to pick and most associate with, and that's represented and reflected in our first blueprint. So the team carefully considered at the beginning of the year, where did we want to go with our first blueprint? What developers did we want to help accelerate? And we picked SocialFi. The team picked SocialFi. We think SocialFi is going to be massive. We think that when we look at the Web2 world and we see some of the platforming that's going on, people just losing their access, whether you agree or disagree with what they say, just losing their access, their right to speak, Elon Musk buying Twitter. There's so many things happening in the social space over in the Web2 world that we really believe that SocialFi is going to take off, and we want to be positioned for that. And we think that Lens is a really, really strong and powerful entrant in that market, and so we want to accelerate Lens developers. And I would, if you look at what we're doing, I would expect us to ship multiple blueprints in that space. Of course, our first blueprint is the Lens API Oracle, as I mentioned. So yeah, and Lens is based on Polygon, right? So even though we're at home in Polkadot and we believe in the ecosystem, we're looking for the team is looking for where is the biggest amount of value we can bring. What is the thing that's going to really change Web3, really change the world? And we deeply believe in SocialFi and Lens. So we're going for Lens and Polygon at the moment, and I'm sure as we move forward, we'll potentially target other ecosystems as we see the value. But yeah, Polygon and Lens is where we're going for right now.
All right. So what are big plans? And I would love to see it come true in the near days. Yeah, as long as it come true as fast as possible. I really love to see it come true. So I know that Phala Network have come through many things, come through many challenges in the past. And can you share some of the best achievements of Phala Network in terms of products so far until now? And which is your most memorable one, and why?
Sure. I mean, that's a really interesting question. I only joined the team about a year ago, and so I've seen a lot, but the founders and the core members of the team have been here for 3 years at this point. at least. So it's been a long journey. I've heard some really interesting stories. You know, like any startup, any endeavor, there's been successes. There's been you know, things that we do differently looking back. But the best achievement, I think, is the launch of Phat Contract on mainnet. And obviously that's why I'm here to talk today. It's literally the culmination of 3 years work, and you know, it's not a non-trivial problem. It's not, you know, the team is really doing something that people haven't necessarily done before. We have a conversation internally about the threshold for usefulness. You know, if you make something that is not particularly, you know, it's easy to get started with, but it's not particularly useful, then, you know, you're not really getting anywhere. But if you make something that's incredibly hard to use, but, you know, has lots of features, again, you're not really getting anywhere. So I think the achievements we're most proud of, the launch of Phat Contract on mainnet, bringing blueprints to the space, I think that is a huge achievement for the team. Just increasing the accessibility, allowing more people to get into Phat Contract, building a team. You know, the founders and the core members of the team have spent years building a global team. I think everyone's very proud of that, and the community as well. Very, very, very proud of that. And I guess lastly, just the reception that we've seen since launch. The Lens official team have taken a look at the work we've done, and they're really excited by it. They think it has a lot of value, and we're going to be working ever closer with them. So yeah, a lot of things to be really proud of. But overall, this is just the beginning. I think for anyone who's interested in where Web3 is going, this is just the beginning for Phala. We're just getting started. We've spent the last few years doing R&D and building a community and a reputation, and now we're going to deliver on all of that. And yeah, 2023 and 2024 will be very, very big years for Phala, for sure.
Yeah, of course. I would love to see more from Phala, and also your story right now is just very touching. So I give you a clap of hands of myself. I'm so proud of what you guys achieved until right now, and also I'm very excited to see more in the future. Okay, so maybe we will jump into the last questions today. So if you must say 3 words to express your pride in your project, which is Phala Network, of course. So what are those? And if you cannot describe it into 3 words, maybe you can tell everyone whatever you want to say with the viewers, with the listener here in the Twitter space.
That's a really hard question. Yeah, I think if I just kind of answer this on the spot without thinking about it too much, 3 words: agile. I think the team is the community, the team, the space is agile. So I think that expresses a lot of pride in the project. If we make a mistake or we go in the wrong direction, we're willing to change very quickly. We're very keen to understand the ecosystem and where the value is. You know, blueprints. We only came up with blueprints and that approach at the end of last year. So agile would probably be the first. I think that's a huge source of pride for the whole team. I can only speak for myself, but I would imagine ambitious would probably be the second word. What the core engineers are trying to do, what the core team are trying to do, I think is ambitious. I think we're one of the most ambitious parachains out here, and I'm certainly very proud of that personally. And fun, I guess. It's a lot of fun to work on stuff like this, and to try and move things forward. So yeah, and agile, ambitious, and fun. Those are my, without thinking too much, those are my 3 words.
Okay, you guys have to remember 3 words, 3 important words from Phala: agile, ambitious, and firm. Okay, you guys remember that? Repeat after me once again: agile, ambitious, and firm. That's right then.
Yeah, sounds good. I could probably think of some other words, but just reacting. I think those are 3 good words. I hope they're 3 good words.
Yeah, I feel the same with you right now. So that is the last questions of the AMA today. We will feel very exciting, very great, and also playing dance to join to this great AMA section today with Polkadot Insiders. Uh, so maybe I will let you say some goodbye to our viewers today in the Twitter space.
Sure. Yeah, just thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Appreciate everyone for attending. I know everyone's very busy. And I would just, if you've got any interest in Web3 or Polkadot or infrastructure, I would really encourage you to check out Phala Network, Phala.network. And as I mentioned earlier in the call, we've got a brand new website, brand new docs. And yeah, give us a follow on Twitter. We put out a weekly thread to keep people up to date. We put out a monthly newsletter. We're very keen to engage and understand the best parts of our products and what we need to improve. So yeah, come and join the family, as we call it. Come and join the family. Come and check us out. And yeah, hope to see everyone soon.
Okay. If you love Phala Network, don't hesitate yourself to give a one follower to them and was surprised to them, and also give some likes into their thread, their Twitter. And also, if you also love Polkadot Insider, please follow us and up to date with some news, analytics, and useful information. So once again, I would love to thank Dan to join to the AMA today. Thanks everyone to spend the time to join to AMA to get some useful information, and also I hope you guys have a great day, great evenings, great night. Okay, so I will turn off the AMA today, and thank you for your attention.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.